welcome to A Tinge Ginge. Today I've got a really exciting video. I know I say every time, but this one is actually really exciting. So I think I might have dropped it in my last video or the video before that, and I gave you a little sneak peek of some of the fish that I've bought. And I've got some archfish. Don't know what archfish are. They're I think, I don't know where they're from, to be honest. I'll have to do a little bit more research. But they're freshwater fish, but they do prefer brackish water, so I'm told, but they can be kept in fresh water. Luckily, the ones I've got, they're a decent size. They're a good sort of 3 to 4 inches, and they've been brought up in fresh water, and they're doing absolutely fine. I've had them for probably a couple of weeks now, and they're all feeding, and they're even shooting water. They were shooting water after about 2 or 3 days, which is absolutely brilliant. And I'll show you the setup that I've got that they're actually shooting the bugs from. But they're all eating, they're all thriving, they're all doing really well. I've got to be careful what I show you in this tank, because there's a few bits in there that I want to save for a future video. So yeah, it's going to be quite hard to record this because everything is just everywhere at the minute. It's not a big tank, there's quite a few fish in there, but I think the filtration stuff is holding up fine. I've been doing my water checks and water change and stuff, and everything here seems to be thriving. It's doing really well. So I'm going to jump straight in. I'm going to show you the fish. Then I managed to get some video footage of them actually shooting the bugs off of the little backdrop that I've made. So you'll see that they are eating when the bugs fall in the water. They're quite tame considering I've only had them a little while. You'll see one of them, I dropped the bug in the water by accident, and as I go to pick it up, the fish actually snatches it away from me. He's like, no, get off, it's mine. So that's quite cool. It's good to see that they are feeding quite confidently, so that's a good thing. But yeah, you'll see them absolutely go crazy. Now the footage isn't great because the lighting, this is my utility room that I've got them kept at the minute, the lighting in here isn't great. So to try and get a decent slow-mo of these guys is really difficult. And you'll see in the last sort of video, it's quite blurry. I was literally just about to pick the camera up and turn everything off and stop filming when one of them decided he was going to have one last go at this bug. So it's a bit blurry, but you can still kind of see what's going on. But I've got some new camera stuff coming, which means I'm going to be able to get better quality video for this. Hopefully them slow-mos are going to be absolutely epic. So I'm going to quickly jump into showing you what's in the tank at the minute. Well, mostly what's in the tank. I'm going to try and keep the other stuff hidden, but yeah, once I've got that out of the way, I'll show you that really cool footage. It's so cool. So I'm going to try and keep this focused on the fish I can. You're probably going to be able to see some of the weird stuff that I've got here in the background, but as long as I keep focused on this guy, you shouldn't see too much. I'll give you a little, you can see a little sneak peek there. This little guy, look at that little guy. So this is what I'll tell you, this is what's known as an elephant fish. Really odd looking fish. They're there's one of my clown loaches, he's getting big and chunky. But yeah, this is one of my elephant fish. They've got that long extended nose and actually use that to poke around and find their food, and they sort of flick the food up using that nose, and their mouth is actually on top. So they're like an elephant, but instead of the mouth being under the trunk, the mouth is actually on top of the trunk. So I've got a couple of these guys, they're really cool, but I'm going to do a video on them at a later date. But as you can see, these are my archer fish. So I've got 4 of them. They're a decent size, as you can see. If I don't want to put my hand up and scare them too much, but you can see they're quite a decent size. I'll say they're probably about 3 inches long, each of them, and yeah, they're all doing really well. As you can see, I've got a couple of other elephant fish back there, and there is a really cool fish that's swimming around somewhere. He's normally up the top, so I've got to be careful in case he decides to make a... Oh no, I know where he is, I know where he is. He's hiding under there. You can just see a tip of it. I'm not going to show you too much. But yeah, so these guys are absolutely incredible. They're probably one of my favourite fish in this tank at the minute. But as soon as I get the big 6 foot by 2 foot by 2.5 foot tank up and running, it's going to be even better. So yeah, these guys are doing really well. So I started off by just putting food in. They weren't really eating anything apart from bugs. If I dropped a little cricket in, they'd be straight on it, as you'll see from the footage in a minute. But yeah, it took them a couple of days to start shooting water, which is absolutely fantastic, which is exactly what I wanted them to do. And eventually, once the big 6 foot tank is up and running, I'm hoping to have a little log suspended from the ceiling. I'm going to have like a little hide, which I'm going to put all the bugs in, and hopefully the bugs will just come out every now and then, hide in the little hut that I'm going to build for them. And it's going to be like a little automatic feeder basically. A lot of them are probably just going to drop in the water for these guys to eat, but the other fish that are in there are going to eat them anyway, so that'll be fine. But yeah, that's what I want. And then hopefully you'll see them shooting constantly and aiming, and yeah, I'll show you what I've quickly got set up. So bear with me, my knees aren't that great. So I've got a lid on this just because I don't want these guys jumping out basically, and whatever else is in here, I don't want anything else jumping out. So I'm just going to remove this lid. You can see I've actually got this little section here. I've got this idea from, I can't remember what it's named, it's some weird channel. It was all in Japanese, so I don't know what it was, but they basically sort of have a section of the tank which is just all of this stuff. Now I think this is called Duckweed, I'm not 100% sure, but you can see it's got, if I'm going to zoom in enough, it's got all its roots hanging down, so all its roots sort of go into the water and it just floats on the top. I quite like this stuff, to be honest. It's good because it's a form of nutrient export, so it's sucking that bad stuff out of the water. And you can see some of this actually escaped and went down into the filter sock back here, which again, I'm not too worried about. I can just scoop this out at a later date, but that's doing really well in there. You can see I've got my filtration kicking up there. I've got to move this bubbler back into the middle. But yeah, this is the little sump area that I've made. It's pretty simple. I do want to get some media to put in this chamber. Just like some ceramic media, just as a little bit more for the bacteria to grow on, but this stuff is what I've nicked out of the koi pond and it seems to be doing the job. And eventually I'll have a huge filtration system for the 6-foot tank, and it will just have a huge section of this, a huge section of ceramic, and I'm thinking about doing a section with algae. Well, not so much algae, more sort of like plants. Getting plants that actually suck a lot of the nutrients out of the water and oxygenate the water, things like that. I'm looking to do that as well, so that's something that's going to be further down the line, but I'm currently building my saltwater pond. So once the saltwater pond's done, then I'll be moving on to the 6-foot tank. But yeah, this is the little setup that I've got. So you'll see this in the background. I sort of started off at a low angle like this, and I've tried to get a higher up angle just so you could see both. But this is what I've got. It's a little back ball, just some plastic, and I've hot glued just a stick out of the garden. Basically I've just glued that on, and what I was doing is I was putting, as you'll see, the little bugs on there, letting them run around, and you actually see them squirting the water, and they do give it a good go, which is quite fun to watch. It looks good on the camera, but it's quite hard to focus. There's 1 minute you're looking at the fish and then the water's squared. By the time you've looked at where the water's gone, you miss it. So that's why I tried to get some slow-mo of it. It's not great, like I said, the lighting in here is very dim, as you can see. It's ridiculous, but once I get my new camera gear, we'll be able to get some proper high definition shots. But yeah, that's the little setup, and what I'm going to do eventually is this stick starting off here, eventually I want this stick to be up here, so it's quite a long distance for them to shoot, but I think it should be quite decent to see, and interesting to see if they can actually do it. But yeah, that's these guys. They're so cool. As I said, they are in freshwater, they're absolutely thriving. They were sort of raised in freshwater, and the person had them before, had no issues with them whatsoever. So yeah, they're doing absolutely brilliantly in here. I'm really happy. So what I'll do is now, you can see if we can get some nose action quick. I don't know if he's going to do it. Literally, the little nose on the end, it's just crazy. It wiggles and he pokes it in places it probably shouldn't go, and yeah, he's super cool. But yeah, I'll get a better footage of these guys. I've got 3 of these actually, and they do get a decent size. I think they get to about max 25 centimeters, which is quite cool. So I'm really excited. I want to get another few of these. So I want a shoal. I want about 5 or 6 because they do shoal up together. As you can see over there, them two are hiding together. So I think they'll look quite cool, and they're just a bit different. I want this tank to be full of different stuff. There's going to be loads of random weird stuff in there, mainly predator stuff, but yeah, just weird stuff basically. I just like a bit of the weirdness. So that's what these guys look like. This is how they're doing. Let's quickly get into that footage, just get you to see the slow-mos, and yeah, it's really good to see. Let me quickly see if I can get one to eat on camera. So this is what I'm feeding them. Just standard silent crickets. It's what you get from reptile shops, you can get from most pet shops, and they're just these little crickets. You can see I've got some veg in there just for them to eat, get that moisture from, because obviously if you don't look after these, they do go out, they do go off pretty quick. So make sure you do look after your insects. I'm going to be chucking these in a huge tub. Hopefully I can breed them. I don't think they're going to be too difficult to breed. I don't know how you tell males and females, but if I get enough packs of these and chuck them all in, I'm sure I'll be able to get something. But let me quickly get one of these out of the box and see if we can get one of these guys to quickly have another feed. Now I'm not going to pop this little cricket, you can just see, I'm not going to pop this up on here, just because it might take quite a while, because these guys have fed quite a bit. I do feed them a lot because I want them to get thick and chunky. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this on top, which is what I did at the beginning, just to get them used to my hand and just sort of associate my hand with food. So every time I go to put my hand in the tank, they see the food, which means that every time I put my hand up by the log, the little stick, they know that there's food in that area. That's the kind of training that I wanted to get with them. But before that I was literally just dropping the food on the top and they were coming up. So let's see how quickly they come up and have a little nibble. So all I'll do is just hold this above the tank drop that in, and yeah, we'll see if something comes up and has a bite. Boom. Oh, I literally just got it. I was looking away from the camera and he just got it. But you can see this guy here, he's having a good old munch on that. Brilliant. This is exactly what you want to see. I don't know if there's many people that know about archfish, but you'll see that this guy's got a yellow tail. This guy also has a yellow tail, but I think 3 of them do. Yeah, this guy's got a yellow tail, but this guy doesn't. Be interesting to see if, I don't know if they're different subspecies or not. Be interesting to see if someone knows why that is. I don't know if that's male and female maybe. I really do not know. Could you imagine for these yellow ones with females, like 3 females and 1 male? Oh, breeding these. Oh god, he's having a good old munch. Look at him. He's proper chomping on that. You can see that cricket's just hanging out. That little clown loach coming in to investigate. That's so cool. I love these guys. They're such cool fish. Yeah, these guys are doing awesome. It's so fun watching me. I wish you could be here to see it, because the noise it makes, they shoot with such high pressure. It's literally like a thud that's hitting the back of that plastic, and yeah, it's really cool. But once the big tank's done, obviously I've only got 4 now. I probably want to get about 10 of them, so I've got a nice big 10 shoal. Can you imagine all 10 of them just looking up, just squirting water? I'm gonna have to put some waterproof lid or something over the top, because otherwise my ceiling's just going to get absolutely drenched. But yeah, they're super cool. But yeah, I plan on having a load of fish in this new tank. Filtration is going to be over the top. It's going to be huge amounts of filtration for the tank, just because I want to try and keep water change to a minimum if I can. I want that water quality to be perfect, because I do want to get some very expensive fish. I want to get some stingrays and things like that, sort of going down that route. So yeah, it's going to be a big ask to do, but it's coming. I've just got a delivery of wood, so behind this door is my snake room. That's where all this tank and everything is going to be going eventually, and I've got all the wood now. I've literally just started building the huge saltwater fish pond, so that video is going to become, I wasn't going to do a video on me making it. I'm going to make a video. It's going to be more of like a time-lapse thing. I'm not going to go through what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, because I don't want you to copy me and then all of a sudden you've got like 3,000 litres of water just gushing everywhere. I'm going off what I think is right and what is going to be safe for my room. But if you want to know tutorials on how to build ponds and things like that, don't copy me, basically. But yeah, that's going to be up and running. So the first video of that's probably going to come out in about a week's time. I'm hoping to get it not completely done. I'm hoping to get the frame built, the inside all put up, all the lining on the inside, get the pond liner in, and maybe start filling it with water. That's the plan. It's gonna take a lot of salt to get that. I think it's probably going to be about 3,000 litres in total. It's, how big is it? It's 6 foot long. It's probably about, it's nearly 4 foot wide, and it's probably going to be about 3.5, yeah, about 3.5, maybe 4 foot deep. So there's going to be a large volume of water, and it's going to be a lot. I think it's about 3,000 litres. I can't remember. I haven't worked out the exact measurements. It was just like a rough calculation. But yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be so good. I'm not going to show you out there just because it's all sort of everywhere at the minute. I want to save it for the video. But yeah, that is coming up shortly. So if you're interested in the fish side of the hobby and building ponds and custom sumps and things like that, stick around, because I've got my big 350 litre saltwater tank upstairs. I'm doing a big overhaul on the sump up there as well, so that's another video coming out. But yeah, it's getting good. And if you're here for the snakes, it is breeding season. I have started pairing all my snakes, so I'm going to be doing some videos on all my ball python pairings. The new racks are going to be done. The heat cable that I think I mentioned in one of my last videos is finally in stock, so I'm going to be ordering a load of that, and then I can finally get the heating up, and then I can do a full video on my racks, because I've got a few people that are just dying to see them. So yeah, that is going to be coming as well. I'm off work this week, so I'm hoping to get a shed ton of filming done this week, and just means that I can pump out quite a few videos coming up. So yeah, there should be a lot coming out soon, so stick around, make sure you wait for it. But I hope you've enjoyed these guys. Like I said, they're really cool. I've got some cool ideas. I want to try and get them off of bugs and onto frozen, especially some frozen shrimp, so I can just stick a piece of shrimp to the plastic, and then they'll shoot the shrimp off the plastic. That's what I'm going to try and aim to train to do. If not, if they stick on bugs, it's not a problem. I'll just breed my own bugs for them to eat. But yeah, it's looking good. It's looking really good. So thank you for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because yeah, it's going to help me out. I need to try and get as many subscribers as I can for next year, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's all I've got for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.